Meet Eugene. He's our account manager based in Elkhart, Indiana. And around here, he's known as the Spool Gun Wizard.
Welcome to Spool Time with Eugene. This area is probably one of the biggest aluminum areas in the country. They ended up settling on Miller. These are pretty much plug and play. You can see all the nice connections you just pop together. And in this area, there's millions of these out there, I believe. I've worked on them for the last 30 some years, and I can just about do them in my sleep. I'm going to go over some spool gun issues. A lot of customers, first thing they say is they're having feeding problems. The reason they have trouble with feeding is due to either these bolts loosening up or the tab under the drive roll becomes worn out, or the main cable breaks. And those three things heat the gun up. The first thing you do when you grab a gun is try and twist the neck and see if these bolts have loosened up, because they'll cause the power not to get to the tip where it needs to, and so it heats the wire up back here and it just starts bird nesting. Same condition with the copper tab under the plate. Now here's an extreme example of a worn out tab. And they should look like this somewhat. That's a used one, but that's completely worn off. That heats the wire up and causes it to become a wet noodle and just binds up.
Where is that on this gun?
Right here below the drive roll. So one of the first things I do when I grab a gun is try and twist the neck, and if it's loose, I see if you can tighten them. If not, if they've come so loose, they fry into the body. And this is an example of what they look like after they have fried. The first thing you do is try and tighten them. If you can't tighten them, you gotta take it apart and possibly replace the whole neck or the whole body. Now in the early days, Miller, this block has always been aluminum, but Miller put helicoils in it just like they do in here, and they loosen up. Sure, they got a little hot, they might get a little bad, but they didn't burn up. So this, they quit putting a helicoil in there, so now it's just threads into the aluminum. So once they loosen up, you got that steel against aluminum, and it just fries them in there, and that's what destroys this body. And that's all that takes. That's why it needs to be tight, because that's where you're putting the power to the tip, is right there. So if that's not tight, that's when you get your bird nesting and everything else. I also, when I put these bolts back in after repair, I Loctite them so that they're good and tight and they don't come loose, and it's saved quite a few of them. This little red Loctite, it's red, so it's not supposed to come out, but you can still get them out. But yeah, that's what really helps. LT on there, and that way I could track how long they lasted, and I've only had 2 come back ever since I started Loctiting them. So other things to look for is a loose tip or a loose diffuser, because that'll cause right there's loose tip, will cause bad connection, and sometimes the diffusers actually come loose, and then it's the same thing. You're not putting the power to the tip where it needs to be. Those don't need to be that tight, but everybody does it because their canister gets loose. There's also a liner in here, a little guide that screws in from the back that wears out. People don't keep up on those sometimes. That gets bad. But this one too, you'll have this little adjustment screw for your tension on your drive roll. And a lot of times that screw will come loose, and then people try and just unscrew it, but you really need to take that set screw out to do it correctly and reseat it and then retighten it. Always check the idler wheel. That one's actually got some burn marks on it, so it causes a hesitation, causes it to jitter, and I can also feel the bearing is bad, so that could be replaced. I keep one of these WC-115s on hand because I can power up the guns and make sure everything works. And little do people know, you can actually use these to put a Miller spool gun on a Lincoln, because this is actually for like a gas drive or something, and you find the right plug from a Lincoln, and the right wires, and you put that on there, and then you can run one of these and a spool gun from Miller on your Lincoln. A lot of people have asked that question. Now this gun says no power, so the trigger's working because you can hear the box clicking, but nothing's happening. So it's either a bad motor or a rheostat. So this is an older style gun because it has 4 screw holes. The newer ones are only 3. One of the things you always do once you take that cover off is take the spring out, because if you don't take the trigger spring out, it'll be a no can see 'em because it'll fly somewhere and you can't find it anymore. A lot of times, the trigger spring, they'll say it's not working like it should. Well, take a new one, put it next to it. They're usually about a 1/4 inch shorter because they end up compressing after a while. The switch is working, but there's no power to the motor, or the motor's bad. So the first thing you check the wiring, because a lot of times it'll look like this, and you'll know that you've got some trouble coming with your control wires. First thing you have to do is see if you're getting power to the motor. So I look for DC voltage and check the wires coming from the power source, and pull the trigger. No power at all, but the trigger wire is working. So most likely this has a bad control cable, because there's no power coming from the power source to the machine, to the gun. That is what's wrong with that one. Oh, the other thing you always check on a spool gun, as soon as you take it apart, you have to remove the rheostat, get it out of the handle so you can work with it. There is a small, I'm going to remove the trigger just so that you can see what I'm looking at. And these screws on the trigger, you never tighten. They ride in there loosely, and you never tighten them, because then the trigger won't work. The handle holds them in place, so you don't have to worry about them being very tight, as long as they work right. So what I was digging for is this valve. This is actually the gas valve that turns the gas on and off, this little rubber. And you always check those, because here's an example of one. I'm not getting gas. I've got, you can hear gas coming out of the handle and whatnot. And these they disintegrate after a while. It's ripped wide open, so it doesn't seal the gas anymore. So it doesn't seal the gas. So you always check that too. Let's see what this one says. Okay, wheels don't align, and the wire keeps popping out of place. So first thing, gooseneck's tight. We've got massive pressure on the drive. The arm's burnt a little bit. So I'm checking. He says the alignment's off, so I can see it right here. The canister something's wrong with the canister. It's way out of whack. You can see it's bent way down, and the wire has to go up. No wonder it keeps popping out of there. So now I have to see if they bent the canister, or it's just put in there wrong or too tight. From tightening it so much all the time, they ruin the threads in the body, and sometimes you have to replace the whole body just for this, because it's an important part of the holding the wire canister. Okay, so I'll pull that out of there. It almost looks like they bent the gun. The wire was not aligning with the drive roll. It kept sliding out, and I can see the body's just so worn that it won't hold the canister correctly anymore. Got a lot of miles on it.
So that needs a whole new body?
Yep, one of these. And whenever you're changing, if you ever go to take one of these apart, where you have your main power cable that comes in, these are left-handed. And they also put a set screw. The older ones didn't have that, and people try and reef on them, and they end up trashing them pretty bad. So it's left-handed, and there's a big set screw, and it's all Loctited, so it's not easy. A lot of times you get a gun in, or you go to see them at their shop, and their rheostat is really loose. So once it's in the body there and tightened down, I use pliers because it's got a 3/8 hex on it, but it's plastic, so it slips right off. So anyway, a lot of times guys will have tape all over the bottom because they say they bump it and it spins all over. Well, one trick to tightening that is you line up the set screws and you loosen them up, and then you pull against the wheel and the plate that it's attached to, and then retighten them, and it pulls it up against the body so it's nice and snug again, so it doesn't slip around. So then you can control it better. Now Miller did start putting an O-ring in there to help that problem, to get a little more pressure between the control knob and the rheostat, but it still loosens up. Canister issues. Some people don't realize that this is actually a brake. So when you're using 40-43, it stays on the spool just like that. If you're using 53-56, it'll, as soon as you cut the wire, it'll unspool because it's a stiffer wire. So this is actually a built-in brake. You tighten this knob here, and there's a rubber brake that squishes out and holds the spool from spinning. 40-43 basically don't even need it, but 53-56, if you don't have that on there and snug to the right tension, the wire just becomes a big bird nest. So, and it's always good to make sure that nut is tight so the shaft is good. Well, this one's not. Now this is a really old one. This has a slip. The new style, this is the old one where you had a spring-loaded cap that slides out. The new ones are all flip top, different, completely different case. The old ones even had a trigger hold. You push it in and it had a button. It'll hold the trigger if you had some really long welds. But they did away with it because I don't think anybody ever used it. One of the big things about is where this cable breaks. A lot of times you'll have really bad welds. The machine just doesn't seem like it wants to work. And you just always have to check this because they'll break off right here. A lot of times you'll find them, they're just all burnt up and broken off. The best thing Miller did was put the new style piece of hose on here, basically. And it really has been one of the best fixes. They use several different designs of cables, but that was one of the better ones that seems to hold up. And then this is the new style because this accepts that rubber hose that you put on there.
How often are you working on that stuff?
It started as a favor, you know, to help out a few customers. So I help them out a little bit to keep them running. Yeah, I used to be a mechanic, so I'm hands-on anyway, and I like to fix things. And so, you know, it gives me a little pleasure too to defeat the odds sometimes. Well, I'm Eugene, and I'm Spool Gun King. If you guys have any issues, give me a call. I've seen it all.